Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the Best Today podcast. It is such an exciting day. It's an exciting week. It's just an exciting time for us as a company, for our mission and the vision that I have. And I'm just so beyond thrilled to be talking to you right now here on the Best Today podcast. There's so much good stuff in store, and I can't wait to share every single bit of it with you. So for this first episode today, I want to talk about, because you're going to hear a lot about Best Today, your best one today at a time, Best Today guide, Best Today company, Best Today brand, Best Today this and that, and our Best Today membership. And it's a lot of Best Todays being said, right? So I want to talk to you about what we mean when we use the term Best Today, the backbone to what we do, why this company was created, the vision that I have, why we use this term Best Today. I want to talk to you about and start the conversation about what Best Today means. And so that's what we're going to talk about here today on the podcast. So we might as well get started. A few things, though, about the podcast that I want you to know, well, really one in particular, is that this podcast, every episode is a conversation starter. It's the beginning of a conversation about things that matter to you right now in your real lives and your real, very present todays. And so one of the things that we want you to do is to talk back with us. And we mean that literally. We have created a page where all you do is go and press a button, and no matter what type of device you're on, a phone, a tablet, a computer, any type of device that can access the internet, if you go to besttodayguide.com/voice, you can leave us a message to share your thoughts on an episode, your reactions, your follow-up questions to an episode, to share your wins. We want to hear your Best Today wins, whether that's what have a win to share because of the Best Today guide, Right Now routine, Clean One Room, our membership, hearing something that we've said here on the podcast and applying it. We want to celebrate those wins. We want to hear your voice, and we want to share your stories on every single episode. So in order for us to do that, I want to invite you right now in on all these conversations. And so make sure to keep in your mind besttodayguide.com/voice so that you can have the conversation with me, and we'll talk back and forth about what we're discussing in every single episode. So I'm really looking forward to that. We're going to be showcasing someone's voice in this episode. And like I said, in every episode, we want to tell real stories of women. And so I just want to officially invite you to be a part of that by going to besttodayguide.com/voice at any time and leaving a message for us. And we're so excited to hear from you, to hear your stories, to hear your questions, to hear your follow-up, to hear your thoughts, to hear your aha moments, to hear what you disagreed with here on the podcast. And so I just wanted to be clear that we are in the business of, here on the podcast, starting conversations, not starting in, having a middle and an ending. No, we want to hear what you have to say. Okay. So making sure that was clear on the forefront. Let's talk about, what does Best Today mean, right? When we say we want to help you be your best one today at a time, what do I mean when I say that? What do we as a company mean? What does the Best Today in our products, in our experiences, and our resources mean? That's what we're going to get into. And I want to share our intention, my intention at Best Today, but also one of the reasons I always say this is a conversation starter is, much like you, we are constantly evolving and learning and being better every day, being our best one today at a time. And so this conversation and this definition and this intention, though I believe the bedrock of it will not change, but how it looks might over time. And I'll always come back here and keep you up to date on that here on the podcast. So I think the best place to start is our mission and our message, because I think that is so important in our lives, in companies, in whatever. That's the foundational, that's the bedrock upon which something is built upon. And our formal mission, what we have written in our operations manual and what we train our team members to first thing, like we start with the mission is our formal mission is to equip women with resources to live with vision and intention. We do this through content, experiences, and products that meet women where they are and help guide them on the journey to being proactive and intentional with their time so they can live free from the tension and discontentment brought on by a constant state of busy. That's our formal, what we are here to do, to equip women with resources so that you can live a life with vision and intention, right? We say that in a number of other ways, life on the other side of busy, being proactive and intentional with your time. But that is our quote unquote formal mission as it stands today. And our message is one that is wholly countercultural. And for many, it may sound at first too good to be true. And that even in that, therein lies the problem. Our culture, our world has made so many women believe that peace of mind, intention, contentment, slowing down, all the things that we teach and mean when we say best today, they make you believe that's surreal, or that's only for a privileged few, only for the wealthy, and only for those who don't have a quote unquote real job or have a quote unquote 9 to 5, or not for the everyday modern real woman. And these are actual words that I've heard. And that is the problem. That culture, the world, that society, whomever you want to name, has caused so many women to believe that busy and chaos and discontentment and the like are the norm. Like that's what should be expected and accepted as a part of your life. So when we say best today, we mean that you can live your life without busy. You can live your life without chaos, without the constant friction that's brought on a lot of times by what's going on inside your mind more than anything else. You can live a life without incessant comparison, but you're going to have to do something in order to get there, right? And the problem is a lot of times it's because there's work that hasn't been done to get clear on who you are and what you want. Because when you know who you are and what you want, you can see someone else making decisions and choices that differ from you without envy, without the need to one-up them, without desiring to have what they have, without feeling shame or guilt or less than or more than, even based on your choices, without feeling any type of way. So best today means learning how to fall in love with yourself and your choices so that you can be a better champion of others. Best today means being honest with yourself, being introspective, looking at you and owning that you control far more than you think and are giving yourself credit for, and that you have been a part of the problem, but you can change that. And owning the truth without beating yourself up, without negative self-talk, without guilt, without shame, because guilt and shame have absolutely no place in best today. We'll talk about both of those things a lot, I'm sure, in future episodes, but essentially we exist to do what so few have been willing to do. To tell you that you don't have to organize your chaos. Like that's not the solution. I literally I got hit with an ad and the company's slogan or selling point or whatever was organize your chaos. And that hit me like, is that really the solution you got? Organize your chaos? I don't get that. So I see this tagline, organize your chaos, for products that are supposed to help women. And my immediate reaction was, no, I don't want to help you organize the mess you have. I want to show you how to get rid of it forever and always. It's like learn how to manage that pain when there's a way to not have the pain, right? I don't want you, we at Best Today don't want to help you be productive so that you can do more and produce more. And we're going to talk a lot about that word productive, I'm sure. We want to help you unlearn the behaviors and the thoughts that cause you to tie your worth, your existence to doing, because you are not a machine. You're going to hear me say that a lot. You're not a machine whose value at the end of the day is measured by what you produce, right? That's the root of productivity, of what are you producing? So when we say that we want you to live your best one today at a time, we mean that we want to help you unlearn the lies that have worked to bring havoc, unrest, mental and emotional exhaustion, and discontentment into your life, all of which work against you showing up as your best. And so one of the misconceptions that I do want to clear up is what I do not mean by best today, because we've actually had this raised to us before. Being your best one today at a time does not mean living a mistake-free and error-free, getting it wrong-free life. No. It means doing your best based on the knowledge that you've intentionally acquired. And if you get it wrong, you assess, learn, and you keep moving. We're not digging a hole and sitting in the wrong choices and the wrong, decisions or mistakes. We don't do that here. That's not what best today means either. It doesn't mean setting this bar to this place, and if you can't reach this bar, you don't equal best today. You're not trying. But we also aren't digging holes every time a mistake has been made, or we made a choice, like I said, based on knowledge we've intentionally acquired, and that wasn't the best choice. You don't then dig a hole and sit in that. There are a lot of women sitting in holes that they've dug so deep, and they won't get out of that. Self-pity and guilt do not exist in a best today. Neither does self-talk. And it creeps in. I know it creeps in because I'm so attuned to you. Yeah. And I hear from you. I see you. I engage with you. And I understand that it happens. But if it creeps in, you keep moving forward away from it, right? That's like what I said about the digging of the holes when you realize you didn't do something the way you wanted to, or the decision you made, based on intentional acquiring, I'm trying to say the words, based on actually acquiring information and making a decision, not like you're just flying by the seat making choices, right? I'm talking about you had got some information and you were very intentional about making a choice, and that turned out not to be the one you wanted or the one that worked out the way you wanted. We're not going to use that to dig a hole and sit in it. You're going to step over that hole. And guess what? The more you keep moving, the further away you are from that hole. You keep moving on with your life, right? We're going to keep moving forward because sitting in holes that you dig for yourself, holes of guilt, of shame, of, feeling so bad for yourself. I didn't do the right thing. I didn't get that right. Okay. But how is sitting in this hole helping you get it right in the next breath? It doesn't aid you in the journey, right? And another thing I want to make very clear, it's about a term and a word that I think is overly and misused among women that I really want to invite you to just drop it in your everyday vernacular. Grace is not needed in a best today, because grace presupposes that you've done something deeply wrong or evil, or dare I even say sinful. Being a human who is intentional about unlearning, doing her best, does not require that you give yourself grace. It requires that you honor that you are a human, right? Worthy of the human experience of growing, of unlearning, of doing better than you may have done previously. Humans were never expected to be error-free, mistake-free, but what we can do is be honest about repeating the same errors that harm us or others time and time and time again. At Best Today, we exist to help women just like you be your best one today at a time. So each week on the podcast, we are going to highlight your stories and your voices. So let's see what's in the inbox today.
Hey, Shantae, this is Emily. I am in Northern California. I'm a 35-year-old working mom to 3 elementary school-age kids. So needless to say, my life is very full, but thanks to you and the Best Today guide, I no longer consider it busy. I'm self-described to type A organized person and normally am a total planner junkie, but I still also felt like things continuously slip through the cracks at times and my plate was just too full. Now that I've been using the Best Today guide for about 5 months, I've never felt more aligned and intentional with my time. The thing that the Best Today guide did for me that no other planner or product has done was help me get deep into the whys behind everything I do and become so much more clear on my vision. It's truly been a game changer, especially in a time when so much of the world in 2020 and 2021 is so out of our control. Thank you for bringing the Best Today Guide into the world.
If you'd like to join Emily and the thousands of other women who found so much peace on the other side of busy with the use of the Best Today Guide, go to besttodayguide.com to learn more and to order yours today. That's besttodayguide.com. Now, let's get back to the episode. So I want to be clear here that grace is not necessary in Best Today. And for so many of you, that just took a burden off of you already, right? Because Best Today means acknowledging the self-destructive habits and patterns and practices that we do. Because without doing that, without acknowledging those self-destructive, meaning it's you doing it to you, right? Without doing that, you will not be your best one today at a time. You can plant all the good seeds you want, and you can do all the gratitude lists you can make, but none of that is going to aid you and progress you if you're not dealing with the self-destructive things that you do, because the self-destructive will uproot and choke out all of that good, right? It's like you're filling the cup, but you didn't take and plug that hole in the bottom. So all that good stuff you're pouring in, it's not staying in. We have to be willing to be aware of what needs to be eliminated. It's a lot of stuff that needs to be let go. A lot of things that need to be unlearned. We need to be willing to understand what boundaries we need to put in place to allow us to be our best one today at a time. And all of this is an ever evolving process. It's not an I did this one practice one time and I arrived type of thing. That's not real. And that's never going to be the story that you will hear come from me or at my company, because it is an ever evolving process. And because of that, this is exactly why so few endeavor on this journey, right? We have become accustomed to quick fixes, like how to lose 100 pounds in 10 seconds. Sign me up for that, right? And not me, I'm just saying that's what people are like, yay, sign me up for that. And if it's not quick, you don't want it. But how many times have you gotten something quick that lasted? I'm going to answer that for you, 0. Best Today means something that lasts. It's a lifestyle. And the good news is that it's far simpler than living a life that you will regret when it comes to the end of it, right? It's far simpler to live a life of peace, of contentment, of joy, of health, reasonable health. It's far simpler to choose yourself every day, every minute, every second. It's far simpler to love yourself enough to do what is best for your life and watch the benefits then pour and spill over into the varying areas of your life and spill over into the lives of those you love and who love you. It's far simpler to live this way and to unlearn all the things you have been preconditioned to believe about what your human experience should be like, and accepting that everybody just has to be busy, or everyone in this phase of life has to be busy, or everyone should just expect a little chaos when you're blank X, Y, or Z. Well, no one has X, Y, or Z together. That's a lie. That might be something you tell yourself to comfort yourself while you're sitting in that, but I'm here to tell you that's a lie. And I have so much more to say, but this is just the beginning, particularly if you're new to me and to the brand and to the company and to what we do. I really wanted this episode to help you to get an understanding of who we are, because we also know it's not for everybody. And that's okay with me. But if you are a woman who wants to be your best, one today at a time, the good news is you are right in the right spot. And so that's your introduction or reminder for those, like I said, who are already well invested into our community, into our message, who already use our resources, our products. You're in our membership community. But that's what we mean. That's what I mean when you hear Best Today. We want to help women all across the globe. I say this in the intro, all across the globe, because we have customers all across the globe. We have members in our community from all across the globe. We have Best Today Guide users from all across the globe. We want to help all of you proclaim every single day of your life, this is what my best today looks like. And understand that you set that standard and that it's going to look differently in different times and different seasons. But this is what my best today looks like. And we do that starting with helping you to look at how you use your time. We talk a lot. You'll hear us use proactive and intentional a lot because it all starts with first, we got to look at like, what are you doing in this life of yours? And when we break that down, it's what are you doing with the time that you have? And when we break that down, it's what are you doing in your day to day? We want to help you be proactive and intentional with your time, help you to think differently about how you allocate time and what you prioritize in general, globally, big picture vision, and what you prioritize daily, which is defined by that bigger picture vision, and help you understand how to define that. We want to help you prioritize the hours that you're given every day. And the first way we do that is through the Best Today Guide. If you've never heard of it, it's our paper. We call it a Better Than a Planner guide. Those are words of our customers, not us, but we agree. It goes beyond the limitations of a traditional planner. It takes you through 14 weeks to help you learn how to plan in a way that isn't, let me just list a bunch of stuff I can do that could get done. That might be all right if I get it done, rather than bringing mindfulness and meaningfulness and results that matter to your days. And so I'll talk more about the Best Today Guide actually in next week's in episode number 2, which is coming out as a bonus on the same day as episode 1. So you'll have that right now to listen to right after this one. So I'm going to talk more about the Best Today Guide in episode 2 because I think it's important to understand the why behind what we do and why I create things and the intention behind it and how it benefits your life. But just to give you an overview here about the Best Today Guide, it walks you through a 3-step process every single week. The first step being to clear your mind and preview your week every week, defining what's most important, what you're going to focus on, looking at what is ahead for you in your week. The second step is planning every day the night before, And I can attest that overwhelmingly in a positive way. The great majority of women who shared with us in our 2020 customer survey said like that was the thing that completely helped them, changed them, was learning how to plan every day the night before. And to be clear, by plan, I don't mean take out a sheet of paper and write out every action imaginable that you could physically complete in a day. Please, if you do nothing else, I need you to stop thinking that that's what planning means. Planning does not mean listing out actions to do all day until you fall asleep without considering that you are a whole human who has to input just as much as you output. And I do have something for you to help you with planning. And I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the episode. But I really need you to understand the importance of planning and how what you may have thought was planning is not actually planning. Not fruitful planning, right? Not best today planning. We'll say that. And so then the third step of the Best Today Guide is to begin every day with our Best Today practice, which answers 4 questions. It looks at your best, those self-destructive behaviors and habits and patterns that I was talking about earlier, how you have to address those. It talks about your vision every morning and then one thing you're going to do, one thing that's going to progress you towards your vision. You may be at step 2 and your vision is step 2000, but guess what? Moving from 2 to 3 just got you closer. And so all of that is encapsulated in the Best Today Guide. And if you want to learn more about the why behind each of these practices, just make sure you listen to episode 2, where I talk more about the Best Today Guide and how to get started. I think everyone should listen to that episode. The next thing that we provide after helping you begin thinking about your time and planning differently is providing you with the community you may not have right now in your physical realm, right? Particularly at the time of this recording. You know, the membership community provides a group of women who are all on the journey of being their best one today at a time. And it's not a Facebook group. No. Again, we do things very differently at Best Today. It's hosted on our own platform, free of distractions, free of ads. It's just the community. It's filled with conversations about things happening in each other's real lives, encouragement. We have monthly live focus calls to gather and share our experiences, ask questions, learn. I create classes that are part of what we call the Best Today curriculum, with lessons on self-awareness, how to get clear on who you are, how to get clear on what you want, how to unlearn, and so much, like exclusive classes and materials that I create that are just for the membership. And all of that's inside of the membership. Because here's the thing, we know that everyone has a support system, or everyone needs a support system, but not everyone has a support system. That's what I meant to say. Or you need someone who understands what living out your best today looks like. And that's why we created an environment where striving to be your best is the norm. I was actually listening to a video on YouTube this week, and the speaker said that there are a lot of adults walking around with dormant seeds inside of them. And the reason those seeds haven't produced fruit is because it's not in the right soil. It's not in the right environment. That's why if you've ever experienced, you get into a certain environment, or you're around a certain amount of people, that you begin to do things, think things that you've never done before. You begin to birth and be fruitful in ways you've never seen. That seed is there in you, but it was dormant because you hadn't put it in the right environment. The Best Today membership community is my attempt to create that environment for so many dormant seeds to wake up and arise in so many women, and among other things. And the good news is every Best Today guide comes with your first month free inside of the membership, because we want you to see the benefits and to join us. Everything that we do, we stand by it. We know it works. We've seen the life change, first starting with ourselves, me, the founder, and then seeing it in thousands of other women. And so we never want you to be a part of anything, or do anything, or purchase anything, or invest in anything that you don't believe in. And so that's why we give you that first month free, so you can see, because I stand by every single thing I create and I know it works. But those are two of the ways that we help you to live out what we mean by best today. And of course, there are other things, other resources that that button. And so those are two of the ways that we help you to live out what we mean by best today. And of course, there are other resources as well. And as you get to know us, you'll learn about them. And you being a listener here on the podcast is a part of that journey as well. And I did tell you that if you listened, that I had something for you at the end. And that is a detailed manual, for lack of a better word, I have created about planning. I want to break down these misunderstandings, misconceptions, just wrong, help you unlearn what a lot of people think planning is. People actually think if they pull out a sheet of paper and type down some words, they made a plan. If they pull up an app and type some words in here, they've made a plan. Or their plan might be backed by a principle that is not going to be fruitful for your life. That's not going to help you get to where you're trying to go. And so I created the Best Today planning manual. And I want to gift that to you for being a listener here on the podcast. So if you'd like to get that, the link to it will be in the show notes to today's episode. And the show notes you can find at besttodayguide.com/1. besttodayguide.com/1, because this is episode 1. The show notes for today's episodes will be there. And you will find the link to download this planning manual for free as my gift to you for being a listener here on the podcast. And because we're having this conversation about your best today, and I talked a little bit about planning. I want you to, but here's the thing, let me say this, and I say this often. Do not go and get this and then let it just be something that sits in your inbox. If you're going to do that, don't do it. It's a waste of your time, and it's an insult to me and the hard work and time that I took to create this. I could have charged you money for this, but I wanted you to have this resource right now so that you can understand some principles. But it goes against the principles for you to do things that you're not going to follow through on. That goes against everything I'm teaching, and it does not help you. So if you know that's you, don't go download it. If you're not going to read it, if you're not going to not only read it, but intake it and learn something and then do something with what you learned, don't do that. I'd rather you go spend your time on something that you will do, that will bless your life, that will benefit your life. Don't use the things that I create to be something that drives you further away from your purpose or your vision. And I know it will help you, but what I mean by that is if it's just going to be another thing that sits in an inbox, making your inbox that much clogged up, right? If it's going to be a thing that you've added to this long list of to-dos that you're never going to actually do, that goes against what I'm talking about here. That goes against what helps you in your life. So I want to be clear on that because like I said, I don't do things for the numbers or to say, oh, look how many people downloaded that. That doesn't mean anything. If I can't then say, look how many people downloaded it, took it in, ingested it, and changed their lives. That's what I'm invested in. Changed, transformed lives, not numbers. Not numbers, to be clear. Okay. So you can go to besttodayguide.com/1, which will also be linked wherever you're listening to this podcast. We'll have it linked there as well. And now I want to remind you that I want to hear from you as we begin to have this conversation of what we mean by best today. I want to know what most excites you about owning and proclaiming that this is what my best today looks like, whatever that is for you. I want to know thoughts you have just from listening to this episode. I want to know if you are a person who uses the Best Today Guide or have taken Right Now Routine or Clean One Room or in the membership. I want to hear your best today stories. And so share those with us by going to besttodayguide.com/voice and let's continue the conversation. I'm really, really honored that you have shared your time and your attention with me for this episode of the Best Today podcast, this very first episode of the Best Today podcast. Thank you for that. I do not take it lightly. Until next time, I want you to remember that you are capable. I want you to remember that you are worthy. You are worthy of being your best one today at a time. A lot of times, that is what keeps us from wanting to be our best. You don't think you're worthy. You don't think you're capable, but you are. You are capable and you are worthy of being your best one today at a time. And the good news is that you already have everything you need. You already have everything you need to have everything you want. So go on and shout it out as you live it out. This is what my best today looks like. I'll talk to you again real soon. If you enjoyed this week's episode of the Best Today podcast, you are going to love the Best Today Guide. Our Better Than a Planner guide teaches you how to get clear on what you want, identify your self-destructive habits and behaviors, and intentionally create space to prioritize yourself every single day. Don't go the journey to being your best one today at a time without the Best Today Guide. See inside its pages and order yours today at besttodayguide.com. Even better, when you order the Best Today Guide, we gift you with your first month free inside of the Best Today membership. So what are you waiting for? We're giving you everything you need to trade busy for intention. Go to besttodayguide.com and order yours today and join thousands of women across the globe proclaiming each day, this is what my best today looks like.